coach of Southwest Swim, and welcome to another Dryland session. So this is our little video just to explain the exercises that we're doing, what you're going to need for the session, etc. So first of all, our little disclaimer, do all the exercises at your own risk. You do these at your own risk. If anything starts to hurt, then please stop doing the exercises, examine your form, and then give it a rest if need be. Okay, so please, none of these exercises should hurt. None of them should hurt at all. Alright, so apart from the muscle aches you're going to get from maybe a couple of the leg workouts we're going to do if you did a session like me yesterday. Alright, but yeah, you do them all at your own risk. The kit you are going to need for today's session are a set of swim bands which are going to be anchored at a high point for you today. Okay, so the top of a door or the highest point, the anchor point that you may use for your swim course. You're also going to need, if you have one, a ball, a slam ball. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of an exercise with a slam ball. If you don't have a slam ball, don't worry. Okay, if you don't know what one is, do not worry. We can basically pretend we have one in our hands when we are doing that exercise. You are also going to need a pole, a stick of some sort. This is my trusty empty broomstick, which is one of the best investments I've ever made for dryland swimming for our groups and for me personally. So a broomstick, a weight bar, anything that you have which is straight. So if you don't have a bar or stick of any sort, then you can use a piece of string. What we're going to do with this is lay it on the floor when we're doing all of our exercises except for one of them, and I'll explain that when we get there. Okay, we're going to lay this stick on the floor, and it is basically going to separate your body in half, and the reason we're using it is for awareness. So you are going to know if that hand crosses over, and you are going to know if it's wide. If you want to go the whole hog, you could also set up a couple to make a tunnel, so just past shoulder width. So then you definitely know if you're coming out of line of your body. So that's how we're going to use that stick. So make sure you've got something there which can align. You can align yourself over every single time for the exercises. The other thing you're going to need to have a quick look at, because I'm not going to explain the first two exercises, is our swim to view, which was released on Monday across all of our social media channels. Now, our swim to view is a recording of basically 5 Pilates inspired exercises to work on our dryland stability, so that when we get back into the pool or the lake that you are more aware of what your body and hopefully have strengthened that core alignment and stability. Now, we had a chat with Christine Hardesty, who is one of our longest serving swimmers. I think she joined us just after we started and has actually got a gold hat for being the longest serving swimmer with us. But what many of her lane mates probably don't know is Christine is also a Pilates teacher. So I spoke with Christine and said, can you give us 4 or 5 exercises that will help improve our stability? We recorded that a couple of days later. You can have a little giggle because I do the exercises as well, sometimes quite poorly maybe, but please do have a look at that video. It's 30 minutes long, so grab a coffee and sit down over lunchtime and have a look at that. It's really informative. It's had a lot of great feedback, so you'll also need to have a look at that. So the session itself, warm-up as usual. There's a guide to the warm-up in the session plan. There's also a video of me guiding you through the exercises for the warm-up. If you do our dryland sessions, you should know that warm-up off by heart by now, okay? So we're going to do the warm-up just to fire up the joints and the muscles and get us to lift that heart rate a little bit more. Then we're going to go straight into our first section. So the session this week is broken into 3 distinct sections. And we're going to do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for the first 2 blocks of the session, and then our swimulation at the end is a little bit different, so I'll explain that when we get there. But the first exercise you're going to do is the archer, which Christine goes through thoroughly in the video. So that's our first exercise we're going to do. And then we are going to do the kneeling swim prep. Again, one of Christine's recommended exercises, so I'm going to get you to watch the video to see how that works as well. Okay, so those 2 exercises, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds rest. Always remember aligning yourself centrally over your pole, string, tape, whatever you're using to give you that marker. All right, and then we're going to get into some more familiar exercises with our swim chords. So we're going to follow that up, excuse my bald patches there, and we're going to follow that up with some more traditional exercises for our swim chords. So we've done these all before. So first of all, we're going to do what we call our single swim press. So I'm going to start with my left hand out, middle finger over my shoulder, and as my right arm is back, I'm going to press that forward, and there's always going to be tensions on the band, and I'm just going to bring the left arm back, and vice versa. Remember, I'm going to be stood over my pole, so I'm going to be aware of what that hand is doing. And these are very slow, controlled movements, but always pressure going through the bands. Now, what I want you to do to advance this one as well, in maybe the second and third set, is to work in your rotation to the breathing. So as my left arm comes forward and my right comes back, I'm just going to rotate my head to the side as if I was taking a breathing stroke. Now be very, very aware of what this lead hand is doing. We don't want it out here, and we don't want it crossed over. We want it very central, middle finger in line with the shoulder. That's our third exercise, okay? 30 on, 30 off. Next is just some slow swimulation work, and what I want you to focus on is rolling over and pressing back so we engage the tricep and back to the hip, and that movement coming through. So we change what we're doing with the bands, and we're just coming through that swimulation. Notice I can still rotate from the shoulder and the hips. I can move those hips and shoulders round. So please do it stood up. Don't use a bench or anything like that that limits your flow and rotation. Alright, so that's our first set. We're going to go through those 4 exercises, 30 on, 30 off, 60 seconds rest. So it's a 5-minute block. Alright, 5-minute block, and then we'll go through it again, and then we go through it one more time. So 3 times in total. Alright, I'm going to change the camera angle now. So unfortunately you've got to stare at my feet for the leg work. And we're back in the room. So you've got a lovely view of my feet, you've got a lovely view of this central bar. So we're going to run through our lower body exercises now. And the first one we're going to do, remember it's 30 seconds on, 30 off again, is just some fast running. So we're going to get knees bent, and we're just going to dab with our feet on the floor. So it's always keeping that center line, okay? Don't come off balance. If you wanted to be really fancy, you can do 10 seconds, jump up, and then land and do it the other way for 10, and then spin back round again. That's our first exercise. Then you take 30 seconds rest. Then we're going to do our squats. Standard squats, keep good form, and you're just going to come down and up, okay? Easy as that, 30 seconds of squats, 30 seconds rest. Then we're going to mix those 2 up, hop squats. So we're going to do 3 hops, 1, 2, 3, land, squat. 1, 2, 3, and squat. And keep that movement nice and fluid, alright? So our hop squats. Then we are going to add in, by popular demand, our slam. So this is a slam ball, it's a weighted ball. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. You see I've moved that pole to one side, because what we're going to do is hold the ball here, come down into our squat again. As we come up, we reach up into that streamlined position and slam the ball back down. We come back down, pick the ball up, and go again, okay? 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. If you don't have a slam ball, then pretend. You're going to come up and then fling your arms down as fast as you can as you come down in that movement. Alright, let's change the angle back up so you can see my face again. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Some of you may disagree, but hey, we're going to do 30 on, 30 off of those. Again, repeating 3 times. So that's our second block done in total. Alright, so I hope you like the slam ball in there. That was by popular demand for some of our swimmers who requested it in our live session last week for this week coming. So if you want to follow this exercise routine through with us, please join us on Wednesday evening at 7 PM. Book on via the system. Okay, it's our squad swimmer social workout. Alright, so we work through the workout together, have a bit of fun, have a giggle. It's like a coffee morning, but we replace the coffee with the workout. Alright, So our swimulation part, our third block is our swimulation build. Normal swimulation like we were doing before. What I want you to do is do the easies at your tempo. Alright, so if you've got a tempo trainer and you know your stroke rate, say your stroke rate is 56 strokes a minute, set your tempo trainer up 56 strokes a minute and you're going to work that easy fluid motion at your stroke rate. Then we're going to do a little bit of fast work as well. So the set goes like this. It's a fluid 3-minute block of swimulation, so it's going to be quite tough. We're going to go 50 seconds at normal stroke rate, 10 seconds fast. So you've got to speed those arms up, keep in good form, and beat your beeper, basically. Straight into a 40-20. So 40 easy, 20 fast. Then, you guessed it, 30 easy and 30 fast. Alright? Then we're going to take a 60-second break, because you're probably going to need it. And then we're going to go back up. So we're going to do 30-30, 40-20, 50-10. Alright, exactly the same, easy followed by fast for that shorter period. Alright, that should get those arms burning enough to finish us off. If you really want to, go through it again. Alright, so repeat the session. Alright, that'll be an optional extra for you. And that's it, that's the session done this week. So a nice lot of alignment work with some focus, some leg building work with some balance in there for us. Okay, so getting those legs moving. And then we finish off with our familiar swimulation block on there as well. Remember, all of the time keeping that central beam below you, that string, that bar, apart from when you're doing the slam ball, because you don't want to really be slamming the ball on top of your stick and having that jump around the house or your workout area. That's it. Cool down. As per the session plan, you've got some ideas in there, light stretching, or you can follow through, if you're one of our squad swimmers, the Swim Smooth video for cooling down. And that's our session for this week. Hope you enjoy it. Please go and look at the Swim to View with Christine, okay, and she will guide you through those first 2 exercises and give you a lot of really useful information. We talk about the exercises and I talk about how that relates to our swimming and what we should be focusing on. So please go and have a look at it. It will be really useful for you. In the meantime, I will see you next week. We're going to release the session hopefully on Monday next week. We delayed it slightly this week because we released the Swim to View and I wanted you to watch that as best as you could fit in. So next week our session will be released on a Monday again. I'll see you then. Goodbye.